Welcome back to another episode of We Forgot to Turn on the Microphone, starring Ken and Bob. So this week, we're going to have a little bit of a hodgepodge video here of two separate videos combined into one, with both JLs receiving this big brake upgrade kit courtesy of Baer Brakes and Rusty's Off-Road. So it'll be a little jumpy back and forth, but stay tuned.
So here comes some of the super sexy hotness. This is one of the front calipers. These are 6-piston front calipers. 6-piston. We got 3 pistons on each side. And they say Rusty's Off-Road.
With a Baer logo.
They custom made these calipers for Rusty's Off-Road. We got them from him. But they are Baer Brakes. They just engraved his name in it before they did all the powder coating. They put the little bear paw for their logo. So we're super excited that Rusty's Off-Road hooked us up with these. I'm so excited to be unbelief. Unreal. Look how big that freaking brake pad is. We'll grab some factory brake pads and show you the size differences when we get rolling here. Show you how big the calipers are for size difference. So if you line up their actual pad area, that's how much we gain at the top. That's quite a bit. They're a little bit narrower, but that 6-piston caliper is going to make the difference. That's the real ticket there. Dude, those are freaking massive. Drilled, slotted. All right, so the rear rotors are vastly, vastly different. So the stock rotor is a solid, non-vented rotor. The first thing we noticed here, these are vented rotors. They're gonna let a lot more heat out. Still has the e-brake area here. That's where your e-brake shoes are on the inside of the rotor. So now let's look at diameters. See what's changed there. The vented part's gonna be huge. Just a 16th over 13. We're gonna call it 13 for easy numbers. We are 13.5. We actually lost diameter there. I'm gonna guess it's probably because of the bigger caliper.
Yeah.
So, actually lost a touch diameter, but we vented, drilled and slotted, and going from a single piston to a 4-piston. Is that single or dual in the rear?
Single.
Yeah, going from a single piston to a 4-piston in the rear is gonna be hugely different. Because of the salt we live in, I always put a dab of anti-seize right where the rotor sits on here. One of the cool things These come with basically like your hub-centric ring to keep the rotor centered dead on. So it just kind of sits right inside the rotor there. Just sits inside there. A lot of aftermarket wheels come with something kind of similar to this, but this isn't a wheel. Oh, like a glove. Like a glove. So this is the caliper bracket. I just put a dab of anti-seize on the bolts. You can choose anti-seize, Loctite. You can weld them. I don't really care what your choice is. I use anti-seize because of the weather and the salt we get up here. It's just a nightmare. And steel bolts, aluminum brackets in Michigan with the salt we get, not a good combo. If I lived out west, maybe my opinion would be a little different, but we don't. Always make sure your bleeder faces up, otherwise the air cannot get out of the system. Again, I use just a dab of anti-seize. I don't go crazy, not doing a whole bunch, but we're using dissimilar metals, and with the salt we get up here, it sucks. You know, these are some pretty darn expensive brakes, but they're so freaking beautiful.
For now.
Like if this axle wasn't so dirty, I could just go put it in bed with me tonight. So we're finishing up the rear right now. Fronts are done. All we gotta do is bleed up the brakes. We're pretty much done, so there's the difference. The big difference in me when we go drive this thing, how amazing it stops. I can't wait for that one. Should do like a dirt bike. When you step on the brakes, it does like a stop.
That would be awesome.
That would be pretty cool. Just don't hook the rear brakes up. See what it does.
Yeah, stay tuned. Yeah, don't hook the rear brakes.
We're not doing that. You don't stay.
All right, Ken, brakes are on, buddy.
We waited a long damn time to do those.
Initial
Way too long.
initial thoughts immediately after install. If we haven't panned over here, but I mean, just a few small things to finish up. You got to bleed the brakes.
Yeah,
and,
we're not going to bore you with the details of bleeding the brakes. We're going to bleed the brakes, throw the tires on, and then go. They give you a very lengthy procedure for bedding the brakes and breaking them all in. I think driving like an idiot and doing a burnout sounds good to me. So we're going to get them all broken.
They come with some kind of a warranty, right? Yeah.
30 feet.
30 feet.
30 seconds.
Yeah, anyways.
So anyways, we've had these things for a long time. It took a long time to get them all put together because they were custom milled. They're not just one you can call and buy off the shelf. Rusty had these custom made for us, which is kind of cool. It's kind of neat to have something different.
It's pretty awesome.
The fit and finish was unbelievable. How just perfect everything went together. Like,
just immaculate they are, and pure beef. I mean, those things are freaking ginormous.
Which is funny how huge the caliper is, and it's lighter than the stock caliper.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Literally, the caliper is twice the size of the stock one with a bracketry and all the bull crap. It's half the weight of it.
Yeah,
We didn't actually weigh it. I'm probably exaggerating a little bit, but big difference.
It is big difference. Big difference. Just so I'm excited to see, like after getting them all bled and everything, just kind of what the.
So that's going to be the kicker here. So when you folks see this video, I've already had the rest of that finished up. I've had the brakes broken in, all that crap. I'm probably just going to beat the crap out of them. But I'll do a YouTube live video so we can see how they actually stop.
Yeah, well,
let's get some real feedback.
No, absolutely. And if you're interested to see and kind of hear how they're performing, make sure you're subscribed, follow along.
Yep.
It's the only way you're going to get the notification when Ken goes live.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll do a live video here soon of that. I say soon, I don't know when this video is going out, but when the video goes out.
Soon after this. We're obviously not going to go live before this video goes out.
No, not at all.
We're somewhat organized. Not really. Not really, but at least we're not that unorganized.
But we had tacos today. That's the most organization.
Ask me how I know we've eaten tacos today.
So many snakes.
No, it was definitely not me.
Well, we really appreciate you guys hanging out and watching this. If you like it, comment, say something. If you think we're idiots, that works too. I can live with that. Otherwise, we'll see you guys next week.
Have a good one.
Yep, see ya.